I woke up in a jail cell next to a woman who'd been arrested for public intoxication and kept trying to braid my hair. The concrete walls were covered in scratched-in graffiti that ranged from philosophical, "What is freedom anyway?" to practical, "Don't eat the bologna." And I had approximately 6 hours to figure out how to salvage what was left of my life before the entire world finished watching it burn. My cellmate, Cheryl, she'd informed me around 2 a.m., was now passed out on the narrow bunk, snoring like a freight train. I sat on the floor, my back against the cold wall, scrolling through my phone and watching my personal disaster trend across every social media platform known to humanity. Pregnant Mistress was the top hashtag on Twitter. Someone had made a TikTok compilation of my best shocked faces set to dramatic music. There was already fan art of the coffee shop confrontation. My life had become internet content, and I was the villain in my own story. The worst part? The comments weren't even mean. They were invested. People were shipping Jake and me. They were speculating about baby names. They were writing fan fiction about our tragic love story and treating Hannah like an obstacle to their entertainment. Honestly, Team Mia here. Hannah seems controlling AF. Plot twist. What if the baby isn't even Jake's? This is better than any Netflix show. When's the next episode? I wanted to scream at them through the screen. This wasn't entertainment. These were real people with real lives being destroyed in real time. But the internet had decided we were characters in their drama, and characters don't get to control their own narratives. A guard appeared at the cell door, keys jangling. "Rodriguez, you're out." I looked up, confused. I didn't call anyone. "Someone posted your bail. You can collect your things at the front desk." I followed him through the maze of corridors, my mind racing. Jake was probably still here somewhere. We'd been separated when they brought us in. Him shouting about assault charges while I tried to explain that viral fame wasn't actually a crime. My sister didn't have bail money. My parents were in Florida and probably too horrified to help, even if they could. At the front desk, I signed papers and collected my purse, my phone charger, and what was left of my dignity. The clerk, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and no patience for drama, handed me a manila envelope. "Your benefactor left this for you," she said. Inside was $500 in cash and a note written in elegant handwriting. "Consider this an investment in your future. Use it wisely. Elena." Jake's mother had bailed me out of jail. "Where is she?" I asked the clerk. "Left 20 minutes ago. Said to tell you she'd be in touch." I walked out of the police station into the harsh morning sunlight, squinting like a vampire. San Francisco was already awake and bustling. People heading to work, tourists taking selfies. The world continuing to spin while mine had stopped completely. My phone immediately exploded with notifications. Missed calls, text messages, voicemails, friend requests from strangers. I scrolled through them quickly, looking for anything important among the chaos. Danny. "Holy shit, cuz. You're famous. Call me. Cassie." "What the actual hell, Mia?" "Mom saw the video. She's having chest pains." "My boss. We need to talk. Monday, 9 a.m. Don't be late." Unknown number. Channel 7 wants to interview you. $5,000 for an exclusive. Another unknown number. TMZ here. We can offer $10,000 for your side of the story. Jake. "Where are you? Are you okay? I'm sorry about everything." I stopped walking and stared at Jake's message. He was sorry about everything. Everything. The affair, the pregnancy, the wedding, the viral meltdown. Or just sorry I'd gotten caught in the crossfire of his inability to make a decision. Before I could spiral further into existential panic, my phone rang. Elena Martinez's name flashed on the screen. "Hello, Elena." "Mia, I trust you received my little care package." "You bailed me out of jail. Why?" "Because I have a proposition for you. A better one than yesterday's coffee shop disaster." Elena's voice was crisp, businesslike. "Are you somewhere private?" I looked around at the busy street. The tourists snapping photos, the businessman shouting into his Bluetooth headset. "Not really." "Then get somewhere private. We have work to do." 20 minutes later, I was sitting in Elena's rental car in the parking garage under my apartment building. She'd traded yesterday's cashmere and designer jeans for a sharp business suit that screamed, "I eat problems for breakfast." But her expression was the same, calculating, intense, and slightly terrifying. "First things first," she said, handing me a cup of coffee from some expensive place I'd never heard of. "How are you feeling? Physically, I mean. Any cramping, nausea, spotting?" If you are enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means a lot to us. We are just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video. "I'm fine," I said, taken aback by the clinical questions. "Why?" "Because stress can cause miscarriages, and stress is about to become your full-time job." Elena pulled out an iPad and started swiping through screens. "You're viral, Mia. Really viral. The video from yesterday has been viewed 12 million times across all platforms. There are memes. There's merchandise. Someone's selling t-shirts with your face on them." She showed me the screen. Sure enough, there was a website selling Team Mia and Team Hannah merchandise, complete with quotes from yesterday's confrontation emblazoned across mugs and tote bags. "This is insane," I whispered. "This is opportunity," Elena corrected. "Handled correctly, this could set you up for life. Handled incorrectly, it could destroy you completely. And you're here to help me handle it correctly." "I'm here to help my future grandchild have a stable home and a mother who isn't living in poverty or hiding from internet trolls." Elena's voice softened slightly. "Whatever else has happened, Mia, you're carrying my son's baby. That makes you family, whether we like it or not." The word family hit me like a punch to the gut. I'd lost my best friend, complicated my relationship with Jake beyond repair, and somehow gained a potential mother-in-law who bailed me out of jail and brought expensive coffee. "What kind of opportunity?" I asked. Elena smiled, and for the first time since I'd met her, it looked genuine. Book deals, reality show offers, podcast appearances, interview requests from major networks. "You're the pregnant mistress who broke up America's sweetheart's wedding. People are fascinated by you." "That's horrible. That's capitalism. And if you're smart about it, you can turn yesterday's disaster into tomorrow's success story." Elena leaned forward. "Tell me, what do you want, Mia?" "Really want. Not what you think you should want. Not what's morally correct. What do you actually want?" The question caught me off guard. What did I want? To disappear? To go back in time and never meet Jake? To wake up and discover this was all a stress-induced nightmare? "I want to stop being the villain in everyone else's story," I said finally. "Good. That's very good." Elena made a note on her iPad, "because I have a plan to make that happen." Before she could explain, my phone rang. Hannah's name on the screen made my stomach lurch. "Answer it," Elena said. "Put it on speaker." "Hannah." "Hi, Mia." Hannah's voice was different again. Not the cold calculation from yesterday, but something softer, sadder. "Are you okay? I saw that you were arrested." "I'm fine. Confused, but fine." "Good, I was worried." Hannah paused, and I could hear traffic in the background. "I'm at the airport. I'm leaving town for a while." "Where are you going?" "Does it matter?" "Somewhere people don't recognize me as the pathetic wife who got cheated on in front of 12 million people." Hannah's laugh was bitter. "My parents want me to come home to Portland. My boss suggested I take some time off. Everyone thinks I need space to process my trauma." "Hannah." "I called to tell you something," Hannah continued. "About yesterday, about everything I said." Elena leaned forward, listening intently. "I'm listening," I said. "I lied." Hannah's voice was quiet now, almost a whisper. "Not about knowing. I did know about the affair, and I did find the pregnancy test, but I lied about why I went through with the wedding." My heart stopped. "What do you mean?" "I didn't marry Jake to punish you. I married him because I was terrified of losing him." Hannah's voice cracked. "I thought if I could just get him to the altar, if I could make it official, he'd choose me." really choose me, but standing there saying my vows, looking at his face, she trailed off. Hannah. He was thinking about you, Mia. During our wedding, while I was promising to love him forever, he was thinking about you. I could see it in his eyes. The words hung in the air like an accusation and an absolution all at once. I'm sorry, I whispered. I'm so sorry. I know you are, and I'm sorry too. For yesterday, for the scene at the cafe, for letting that kid film everything. I was angry and hurt, and I wanted everyone to hurt as much as I did. Hannah's voice got stronger. But that doesn't make what I did right. Elena was furiously taking notes, but I couldn't focus on anything except Hannah's voice. Where does this leave us? I asked. I don't know, Hannah said honestly. I can't be your friend right now, Mia. Maybe not ever. But I don't want to be your enemy either. What about Jake? What about him? You can have him if that's what you both want. But Mia? Hannah's voice took on a warning tone. Make sure you actually want him. Not the idea of him, not the fantasy of what you could have been, him. The real him with all his flaws and fears and inability to make hard choices. Because if you don't actually want him, if this is just about winning or proving something or filling some void in your life, then you'll both be miserable. And your baby deserves better than parents who settled for each other. If you are enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means a lot to us. We are just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video. The line went quiet except for airport announcements in the background. Hannah, I said. Yeah? For what it's worth, you deserved better too. Yeah, she said softly. I did. The call ended, leaving Elena and me sitting in silence in the parking garage. Finally, Elena looked up from her notes. Well, she said, that changes things. How? Hannah just gave you the perfect redemption arc, Elena said, her voice taking on that business-like tone again. The repentant mistress, the gracious ex-wife who forgives, the complicated love story with a baby on the way. People eat that shit up. You want me to monetize my personal disaster. I want you to take control of your narrative before someone else does it for you. Elena pulled up another screen on her iPad. Look at this. It was a news article from a major website. The real story behind the wedding scandal. Sources say pregnant mistress planned to sabotage marriage. My blood went cold. That's not true. I didn't plan anything. Of course it's not true. But without your voice in the conversation, people will believe whatever story gets the most clicks. And calculating home wrecker destroys innocent marriage gets a lot more engagement than 3 people make complicated choices and get hurt. Elena was right. I could see it in the comments already, people speculating about my motives, creating elaborate theories about how I'd trapped Jake, painting me as either a master manipulator or a naive victim. None of them were getting it right because none of them knew the real story. What are you suggesting? I asked. I'm suggesting you tell your story, your real story, before someone else tells it for you. Elena leaned back in her seat. I've already had 3 book agents call me this morning, 2 publishers. A streaming service wants to option your life story. For a movie? For a limited series. The Other Woman, a true story of love, betrayal, and redemption. They're thinking Zendaya for you, though personally, I think you need someone with more emotional range. I stared at her. This is surreal. This is reality, your reality, as of yesterday afternoon. Elena put her iPad away and studied my face. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Before I could answer, there was a knock on the car window. Jake stood outside the parking garage, looking like he'd slept in his clothes and hadn't showered in days. Elena rolled down the window. Jacob, she said coolly, you look terrible. Thanks, Mom. Real supportive. Jake's eyes found mine through the window. Mia, are you okay? I've been trying to reach you all morning. I was in jail, Jake. You were there. Right. Sorry, he ran his hands through his hair. Can we talk? Alone? Elena and I exchanged glances. She nodded slightly. I'll give you some privacy, Elena said. But Mia, think about what I said. You have 48 hours before this story gets away from you completely. She got out of the car, squeezed Jake's shoulder in what might have been affection or warning, and walked toward the elevator. Jake slid into the driver's seat, bringing with him the smell of stress sweat and desperation. So, he said after a moment, this is fucked. That's one way to put it. I talked to a lawyer this morning. About the divorce, about the assault charges, about everything. Jake stared straight ahead at the concrete wall. Hannah's not pressing charges for the coffee shop thing. She told the police it was a misunderstanding. That's good. She's also not contesting the divorce. She wants it fast and clean. No alimony, no fighting over assets. She just wants out. I studied his profile, trying to read his expression. How do you feel about that? Relieved, he said immediately, then looked guilty. Which makes me a terrible person, doesn't it? My wife wants to divorce me, and I'm relieved. You're not a terrible person, Jake. You're just in love with someone else? He turned to look at me, and I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Not guilt or desire or confusion, but certainty. Because I am, Mia. I'm in love with you. I have been for months, maybe longer. The words hit me like a physical force. This was what I'd wanted to hear for so long, what I'd dreamed about during those late-night phone calls and secret moments. But now that he was saying it, all I could think about was Hannah's warning. Make sure you actually want him. Jake, I know the timing is shit. I know everything about this situation is fucked up and complicated and probably going to get worse before it gets better. But I need you to know that this isn't just about the baby or guilt or some rebound thing. Jake reached for my hand. I choose you, Mia. I should have chosen you from the beginning. You married Hannah 3 days ago. I married Hannah because I was scared. Because choosing you meant risking everything, and I'm not good with risk. But watching you walk away yesterday, seeing you in that jail cell, realizing I might lose you forever, he squeezed my hand. I can't live with that. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to believe him so badly it hurt. But Hannah's words echoed in my head. The real him, with all his flaws and fears and inability to make hard choices. What about when this gets hard, I asked. What about when the internet gets bored with our story and moves on, and we're just two people trying to figure out how to raise a baby together? What about when it's not romantic anymore, just messy and complicated and real? If you are enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means a lot to us. We are just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video. Jake was quiet for a long moment. I don't know, he said finally. I can't promise it'll be easy, or that I won't make more mistakes, but I can promise I won't run away again. It wasn't the grand romantic declaration I'd fantasized about. It was better. It was honest. There's something else, Jake said, his voice hesitant. About the baby. About us. My stomach clenched. What? My mom wants us to get married. I stared at him. What? She thinks it would be good for the optics. The redemption story. Affair leads to true love. Baby brings everyone together. Happy ending for everyone. Jake looked uncomfortable. She's already talked to some publicist about damage control. Your mother wants us to get married for PR purposes. She wants us to consider all our options, including the option where we control the narrative instead of letting it control us. Elena's words from 20 minutes ago, the same argument delivered by different people. Everyone wanted me to take charge of my story, but no one was asking what story I actually wanted to tell. And what do you want? I asked Jake. I want you, he said simply. However, I can have you. If that means marriage, then yes. If it means just being together, then yes. If it means co-parenting and figuring it out as we go, then yes. He turned to face me fully. I just want you in my life, Mia, in whatever way you'll have me. There it was. The choice I'd been avoiding, presented as simply as ordering coffee. Say yes to Jake, yes to us, yes to whatever complicated future we could build together. Or say no and figure out how to navigate single motherhood while being internet famous for all the wrong reasons. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Mia, this is Rebecca Chen from Good Morning America. We'd love to have you on the show tomorrow to tell your side of the story. We can offer $15,000 for an exclusive interview. I showed Jake the message. He whistled low. 15 grand, he said. That's a lot of money. Your mom thinks I should write a book. You should write a book. You're a good writer, Mia. This could be your break. My break is being famous for sleeping with my best friend's husband. Your break is people caring about your words. Jake leaned closer. Think about it. How many writers would kill for this kind of platform? You have 12 million people who already know your name. 12 million people who think I'm either a homewrecker or a victim. 12 million people who are invested in your story. That's not nothing. He was right. Elena was right. Everyone was right about the opportunity buried in this disaster. But taking advantage of it meant accepting that my personal life would never be private again. That my child would grow up with their origin story being public entertainment. I need time to think, I said. How much time? Before I could answer, my phone rang again. This time, the caller ID made my blood freeze. Dr. Martinez, OBGYN. My doctor, calling on a Saturday morning. I have to take this, I told Jake, my hands shaking as I answered. Dr. Martinez? Mia, I got your blood work back from yesterday's appointment. Dr. Martinez's voice was calm, professional. I need you to come in on Monday, first thing. Is everything okay? Is the baby? The baby is fine, but there's something we need to discuss. Something that changes things significantly. Jake was watching my face, trying to read my expression. I pressed the phone closer to my ear. What kind of something? The kind of something that's better discussed in person. Can you be here at 8 a.m. Monday? Dr. Martinez, you're scaring me. Just tell me. Monday, Mia. Bring someone with you for support. This conversation is going to be complicated. The line went dead. I stared at my phone, my heart hammering. Jake grabbed my hand. What did she say? I don't know. Something about the baby, something that changes things. I looked at him, panic rising in my throat. What if something's wrong? What if the stress caused? Hey. Jake's voice was gentle, grounding. Don't go there. She said the baby was fine. Then what could change things significantly? We sat in silence, both of us thinking the same terrifying thoughts. Genetic abnormalities, birth defects, complications that would make everything infinitely more complex. My phone buzzed with another media request, then another, then another. The world wanted my story, but I didn't even know what my story was anymore. Pregnant mistress becomes internet sensation? Star-crossed lovers find happiness despite the odds. Single mother navigates fame and parenthood? Or something else entirely? Something I wouldn't know until Monday morning at 8 a.m. Whatever it is, Jake said quietly, we'll figure it out. Together. Together, I repeated, testing the word. It sounded foreign and familiar all at once. Together, Jake confirmed. No more running, no more lying, no more being afraid of what we want. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe us. But Monday was coming, and whatever Dr. Martinez needed to tell me was going to change everything again. The only question was, would Jake and I survive another plot twist, or would this be the one that finally broke us apart for good? Outside the parking garage, San Francisco continued its normal Saturday routine. People shopping, tourists taking pictures, life moving forward while mine remained suspended between one crisis and the next. In 48 hours, I'd be famous for being pregnant with a married man's baby. In 48 hours, I'd have to decide whether to cash in on my scandal or try to disappear. In 48 hours, I'd know what secret my doctor was keeping. But right now, I was sitting in a car with the father of my child, both of us trying to figure out how to build a future from the wreckage of our choices. Monday, I said finally. Monday, Jake agreed. And then? Jake squeezed my hand. And then we find out what happens next. The words hung between us like a promise, like a threat, like the beginning of a story no one could predict the ending to.